Howdy folks, it is Lanso90 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. Let's launch our tiny little Space Center shuttle here. We're not even going to take off. We're just going to scroll around the ground. We almost even might want to buy a better launch ramp, to be honest with you. I have to remember how to brake. What are these? What's causing that? No. Anyway, we're gonna not worry about it. So, let's get our science. Pressure data. Keep experiment. Like temperature. Keep experiment. Oh, weird. And there's his inventory and stuff, huh? Inline cockpit inventory. Weird. I don't know. It doesn't make sense for that to be deadly reentry. It could only be like, I don't know. It could only be the environmental enhancement mod, but if everything else is working modestly okay, I'm not sure I'm gonna mess with it. Let's do a crew report. Keep experiment. EVA Bob, and hope he doesn't fall to his death. Then we want him. Take that data. We want him to do EVA report. Not sure a spacesuit was necessary for this. Want him to take the data from that. Take the data from that. Ooh. I pressed F for him to climb in, but I guess it's B now. Okay. So. Oh, you know what? I didn't put batteries on this thing, so we'll have to keep an eye on our power supply. Our intent is not to go fast in this. Our intent is to be very careful. Because all we're going to do is just use it as a vehicle, basically. Getting off this launch pad is usually the scariest part, because it's a pretty steep ramp down. Vehicles certainly don't like the ground. Would like to get to the grassland biome if we can. Yeah, we don't want to go too fast. Firmly grasp it. I did figure out the time warp controls. I don't know if I want to do it in this situation because it's a physics time warp. When you're driving on the ground, it's pretty bad. There is something wrong with like our shadows and stuff. I'll take a look at the graphics options after this. Maybe if I change the in-game settings rather than like we don't want to turn too fast either. If we change the in-game settings rather than the mod settings, it might help. So I don't really want to mess around with the mod. It's just hard because the game looks so much better with like the clouds and the cities and stuff, but as you can see, it's it's still having some issues. Question is it a fair trade? So let's see, are we to the grassland yet? I think we're gonna have to turn our graphics mod off. Okay, crew report. Oh, this is indeed Kerbal Shores. Skirt. You might have to get onto the actual grass to get the grassland. Also, I'd like to lower the volume of this if we can. Probably bring the music up a little bit, but spacecraft noise needs to go down. All right, so EVA. Actually, it's a little soon for the EVA. Get back on board. Log temperature. Keep data. Pressure. Keep data. EVA. Report. Keep data. take data, and get back on board. Okay, I think that's all proper. Accelerate back up to warp speed. This is a quick and dirty way to get a lot of science right at the start. You can kind of like unlock every part you need just by going to the shores, going to the launch pad, going to everywhere at the KSP. If you're really ballsy, you can go to like the water's edge, and I think you get a different type of shore data there. For some reason, there's 2 shores in the game. It's kind of odd. Should also be General Space Center rather than like launch pad specifically and other things like that. Yes, so that's happening from a smoke effect. There's some kind of smoke coming out of this on occasion. And it's getting disappeared, so I think our visual enhancement mod is not working. I will try changing the base game settings before I try getting rid of the mod. Report. Oh, I didn't take out the existing crew report. Let's check this then. Still on Kerbal Shores, reset that. Weird glitches, man. Like I said, the love-hate relationship. It's hard getting these mods to work properly on Kerbal Space Program. Even when you do get them working, the game tends to update the next day. Like literally, I wasn't even like following the situation. I didn't know that it was the 10-year anniversary. I didn't know that there's literally going to be an update that next morning. I was just like, you know, now seems like a good time to do some KSP. How we doing? Shores. We might have to go too far out. I feel like they changed some of the terrain out here, so it's different. The biomes are a little different. Also, that little pit there might that might be an extension of the shore, so this might be like the one direction you can't go and get this done. We'll go as far as the green stuff, and then if it's not going to work, we'll turn back around, because I don't really want to go up into those steep hills. You'll most likely perish. See, I think this area over here used to be grasslands even before you get to the dark green. I think they've changed it so it's all shores now. And they also added the KSP as its own biome, because I think that used to be shores where the Space Center was. Now we're going up at an angle. Shores. It's getting green. Shores. You gotta be careful now, because you could start sliding backwards. You gotta start giving the engine some real juice too, just to go at normal speed. Okay. Gonna call that our best shot. I don't really want to go further than this. Not like this. Not without any parachutes. At some point, we'll land in a grassland and we'll be able to get all that data. Gotta be careful on our way back down here. Skirt. Gave it our best shot. Just coast for a bit. Sure, the electric charge is fine. We'll have plenty of food and water. Really want to go faster than 12 meters per second because you never know when the wheel physics might just stop working. Oh, you actually get like a specific number. That's how many meters per second of delta V we have? That doesn't seem quite right, but I think that's our total delta V. It's just weird because we're an airplane. So our fuel efficiency is actually very high compared to a rocket. But obviously it just won't work out of atmosphere. So even though it says we have tons of meters per second of fuel right now, wouldn't it stay that way? We might be able to do this, but man, it's risky. Because I could drive out into the water. I don't know. We'll eventually do a splashdown. Once we have a vertical decoupler, we can do that for sure. A vertical decoupler and a parachute. But right now we don't. Jeb has his personal parachute, but that's not what we need. We need a vehicle parachute. Get back to the Space Center. Because every single one of these buildings has its own unique technology biome. There's not a ton in it. And at the start of the game, it actually adds up quite a bit. You can squeeze out just a little bit extra with your scientists too. So that's what I like to do. Let's us hijack the tech tree a little bit. That's weird, these weird particle effects. Keeping my fingers crossed that just changing the in-game settings will work. Because I don't want to uninstall the visual mod because like the sky looks so much better. And like all the planets have a visual update with this mod, but it's weird because this one said it was working fine, but I don't know. Could go into the forums and post about it, but it's a lot of work. All right, nearly back to Space Center here. Somewhere around here we should just get general Space Center data. Maybe not. Oops, careful. Slow down. But not too much because we also have to get over this ledge. Easy, easy. Goose frappa, goose frappa. Okay, I think we did it. Should be in a new biome. R&D center. Keep. Skirt. Skirt, skirt, skirt. Temperature. EVA. Take data. Take data. Take all the data. As weird as that is. Do an EVA report. Keep data. Get back on board. Crew report. Keep data. Seems good. Okay. It's the admin building. We should probably get over to that next. Skirt. I don't think the flagpole is its own biome. I think that's just the administrative center. I think it might have been its own biome at one point, but that might have been before there was like a career mode, I think. Do a quick check while we're passing it. Might be too. Yeah, it's just astronaut complex. I guess we can get this data now then. Long data, keep experiment, temperature, EVA report, keep experiment, take data, take all the data. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Report, keep experiment. It's only like one to two science per thing, but it stacks up. As you can see, there's quite a few places to go at the center here. Oh, geez. Plus the shores. Admin building. Skirt. Well, actually, that was worth. The pressure data is pretty good. It's almost like 4. A report. Take data. Take data. Check everything. Get back on board. Crew report. Experiment. I think that run test option we have there is our inline thing in water, the inline cockpit on water test. Obviously it won't work if we do it here, but all right, let's head to the space plane hangar. Are you a separate thing? What are you? I don't even know who you are. Might not be anything, but you should probably check it. Pressure, keep experiment. Yeah, the pressure data is almost 6 per shot, so it's pretty good. Data. Take data, take data. Take data, get on board, report. You get the idea. Oof. Just leaving little diamonds of no textures around. Are you? Might just be part of the space plane hangar complex, but I don't recognize you. You have a telescope on you. Get close just in case being close matters. Oh, it's mission control. Mission control is really small on the first stage, huh? Yay. Reports. Take. And yes, you have to do all this, otherwise the reports won't stack. That's why you have to take everything out and then put it all back in. Interesting. Mission control is nice and small. So, now the rocket hangar. It's weird. Some buildings are much more impressive than the others, like the rocket hangar and the astronaut complex are both pretty impressive. And then like the admin building and the mission control are very, very small. Just like little trailers. Take that. You used to even be able to go one step further, because if your character was like on top of his vehicle, it would be considered flying. But they managed to fix that. Did I get my... Yeah, I did. Take everything. Back on board. Bada bing, bada boom. Don't know if our scientist bonus applies right away, or if it applies after we complete the mission. I wonder if they can do an RTX mod for this. Surely there's a quick and dirty plugin for Unity and RTX. The FPS would probably be terrible, of course, but it might be an alternative to running any sort of like janky graphics mod. Skirt. This is gonna be the big stuff. All the science, taking all this back. Worth its weight in gold. There we go. Yes, if you're new to Kerbal Space Program, I definitely recommend doing this little run right here, grabbing all this data. Not only does it give you the big science head start, but it also kind of gives you a little bit more experience just hitting your navigation keys, trying to keep your speed measured and stuff. All pretty helpful. If you go too fast, you can crash this thing. Even on just like flat ground, it'll crash. Planes in KSP don't work that well. Can be done. It's a lot harder to fly planes in this game than rockets, in my opinion. Like, I never land the planes in this game because like that's like basically impossible to me. Instead, when I complete my mission, I fly myself as close to the space center as I can. Sometimes I'll even get above the runway, and then I will stop all my speed and deploy my parachutes and just land on parachutes. Now, some of these experiments aren't going to do anything when we're on the launch pad, of course. Not quite to the launch pad yet. Also gets you in the habit of like using your brakes and all that good stuff. Just hit up the launch pad, get the last of our science. Like I said, we could try to go into the water with this cockpit, but at this point we have enough value in our pod that I don't think we want to even risk it, because we'll probably have plenty of science to like make a small rocket to just carry this thing to the ocean and do the test. So might as well do that. Not gonna be much there. Still going to be an EVA report and stuff, though. Take all data. Get back on board. And we're done. Just make sure this all scrolls through just in case it matters, because I don't want to lose any of this data. Oh, never mind. I'm sure it's counted. Let's just recover it, because we're out of time anyway. A 109 signs. Can you believe it? Get all of our funds back for our crew. He got no experience because it doesn't count as flying, but yeah, that was a lot of science. That's really good. Oh, he did get this research ribbon 3 for researching 100 more science points in one go. But we're out of time for this video. I'm gonna go mess with the graphic settings for a bit. If you did enjoy the video, remember hit the like button. Keep the comments going in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, hope you have a good day.